Alright guys, what's going on? Needs More Drums back in City Skylines 2 for another episode in our Grand Keys vanilla build. And so first and foremost, I just want to apologize for my voice. If you don't know, the weather in Chicago lately has been very out of control. It's been going from about 20 degrees all the way to like negative 20 degrees basically every other day. And both my girlfriend and I have been kind of battling just being sick and feeling like crap for the past couple weeks. But, you know, I'm feeling a lot better today, and I have the day off, so I figured, you know, might as well jump into some City Skylines. I am really excited to play, especially since we got a little bit of an update that kind of came in a perfect time. So the update adjusted a lot of the capacities for the like the modern architecture buildings, one of which is this community college. So previously in the last episode, I was a little bit concerned about the future of this building because of the capacities that the upgrades had. And for example, like I think this extension wing only had like 200 additional capacity, which was just not a lot. And the whole complex itself didn't really have a massive capacity. So I was worried that we were going to have to maybe upgrade it in the future with a different building or something like that. But with this new patch, that is no longer a concern. I mean, we have 1,000 capacity here. We have 800 capacity here. And I think that we can actually add multiple of these, which is really cool. And we can also use this whole area instead of just, you know, having to attach it right to the footprint of the original building. So, you know, we can kind of build these over here or, you know, over here if we wanted to, or even like over here, which we won't do, but, you know, just saying, we could if we wanted to. So that's really cool. But in terms of what we're going to do today, I think it's going to be really important to take a step back and just reevaluate some of our city services that really need some improvements, some upgrades, some additions. And there are still some city services that we actually don't even have in the build yet. And I think that today is going to be a great time to add some. As you can see, we have $2.1 million in the bank, which is awesome. We're making almost $1 million a month, which is even like more fantastic. So yeah, we have some money to spend to put towards the infrastructure of our city. And second, in terms of actual building that I want to get done today, I really want to buy a few more tiles. Again, we do have the money to put forward for that. So I think today is going to be a big spending day, but it's all for good stuff. So I want to buy like this tile. Actually, let me just jump into the tile view. I think I want to buy these three. And the reason that I want to buy these, and maybe even a fourth one, maybe even this one, if I feel so inclined. The reason is I want to start to think about kind of the outskirts of the city and some specialized industry. And so in this area, I want to reorient some of these roads here and kind of rethink how these are going to connect up to the highway. And I think we have a lot of like weird intersections here. We have a lot of big roads, but I don't think that we need all of these. And so we're going to think about kind of this whole area and how this is going to fill out. And I think we're going to put some industry here and kind of have this, maybe even redo a little bit of this. It looks okay, but I think it does look kind of weird how it kind of follows the power line. I think that in a perfect world, this would have been built before this highway on this power line. So having this follow the power line is kind of not the most realistic. Presumably the power line would have followed what was already here before. So we might redo this a little bit, at least this part of it that kind of has this weird bend. I don't really like it as much as I thought that I would. And then going out over here, I want to rethink, you know, like this road. I just kind of threw this down just for whatever reason, and I don't think that it really makes sense to put this here. Instead, I want to think about how this main road and this whole like busy area is going to transition over here into kind of a more county, you know, highway type roads. And eventually, like over here, if we purchase some of these tiles over here, this is all going to be farmland. And we might have, you know, some little towns kind of pop up here and there, especially over here by this lake. I think this is going to be a perfect spot for another little kind of miniature city. But at the very least, there's going to be a lot of farmland in this valley, and I think it's going to be really cool, and it's going to look really nice. I mean, you could already see like it's naturally lending itself to just be a perfect spot for some farmland and some specialized industry. So I'm really excited to get started with that, and it'll help us, you know, figure out the outer boundaries of our city. So that's something really important that I always really try to do in my builds, is to make a point where the city stops and kind of the countryside begins. And this area right here is going to be that point, right? So we're going to see some industry off of the highway, kind of some sparse, you know, what you would think would be like distribution centers. So that's a big thing. at least in the States. There's a lot of development going on right now where, you know, there's old farmland, and these big companies, like especially like Amazon and stuff, are buying, you know, the farmland and putting up these huge distribution warehouses because it's flat land, it's open, you know, there's plenty of space for truck parking, for you know, employee parking, and everything in these warehouse facilities are just absolutely massive. So it makes a lot of sense that we're going to see some stuff like that over here. So I know we don't have those assets in the game at the moment, but I think at the very least we could just zone out a couple of really big, like 6x6 buildings and have a lot of parking lots and things, and it'll kind of give that effect, you know, just big open complexes. So we'll do a little bit of that kind of here to transition out of the city. We'll add some farmland over here and another suburb probably over here, but we'll see if we get to building that. So let's first talk about some of the city services that we actually need to improve. All right, so one of the services that I think needs a huge improvement and addition is going to be our elementary schools. So you'll see that we currently have 4,000 people that are in need of an elementary school, and we only have 2,000 capacity. So our closest elementary school for this whole side of the city is over here. So East Percussiona actually doesn't even have its own elementary school. So we're going to change that. We're going to build one over here. And I don't really want to use anything huge. I could use like one of these urban ones, or, you know, this community one or whatever, but I don't think this one has any upgrades. At least it doesn't say that it does, which is a little bit strange, but we'll just kind of roll with that. I don't really want to use any of these either right now. The UK primary school, I mean, we already have a UK primary school over on the other side. I don't really want to build another one of these over here. I just don't think it really fits the area all that well. I think what we're going to actually do is place down the small elementary school and then use the extension wings to make this a little bit, you know, better capacity. And then we'll upgrade this main elementary school here with maybe something a little bit more urban, particularly the city elementary school or the urban elementary school, which I think are both going to be really, really cool. And plus I just want to use these assets. I think they look awesome. And yeah, I want to use them. And I envision that this part of the city is going to get like a density boost anyway. So over time, I'm not too opposed with really upgrading this into something a little bit more dense, and we can make better use of this area too. It's a lot of space, you know, for this building. And I don't know. This asset is okay, but I just don't really care for it. I think it looks kind of big, kind of goofy. I'm not the biggest fan. So the first thing that I'm going to do in this area is actually get rid of this road. I thought about making that a potential highway connection, but we're not going to do that. We don't need that. And then we're going to clear some of these trees here. We got a couple of wild horses, I guess, just hanging out. That's cool. Yep. All right. So next, I think we're going to actually do a little bit of terrain work, and this is on a little bit of a slope. Actually, yeah, I think we will. I do want to make this a more level, kind of right here. I think is where I'm going to put the school. So it definitely makes sense that we're going to grade this a little bit. Yeah, we'll cover this up with some trees and things in a little bit, but I just wanted to have a nice little area to work, and we'll adjust that as needed. So yeah, for the small school, I have no problem really placing it right on this road because this isn't that busy of a road at the moment, and I don't think it will be. So this could probably just go somewhere like right over here. And I know that the slope is not the best there. Maybe I could do it over here instead. I just want to make sure that I have enough space for that gymnasium extension. Or actually, you know what we could do? This is what we could do. We could be smart about this. There we go. Now we have a nice flat surface to work with here. That'll be a lot better and a lot easier than trying to mess with this slope right up against the road. That is annoying. I'm not going to be able to place this. I am not going to be able to place this against this building. I don't think any way that I put this here, we just don't have the space. Even if I bumped it out over here, I don't think it's going to work. Actually, let me just try something. I know it's going to cost money to relocate this, but let me just try this. I don't like how close that is. but I think we can cover that with some trees. And that might be all right. Just might be all right. And then we'll plop down this extension wing, which of course we can't place. Oh my goodness, we can't place that either. Man, I thought it was going to be in the footprint of the building. I haven't used this asset yet, so I actually didn't really know what this was going to look like. And I'm not going to move like this highway or anything to put this here. That's just goofy. I think, you know what I'm going to do instead? We're going to just delete this. And then we're going to put the extension wing, because we need the extension wing more than we need the, oh, and we can actually place 2 of these. That is interesting. I kind of wish that I could place it on this side so it didn't look weird, but I think I would like to place 2 of these because we kind of need 2 of them, to be honest. Yeah, I guess that's fine. I thought it would look a little bit weird if they were facing the same way. So this might be, you know, it looks a little bit different, and I kind of like it. So we're going to keep that for now. And then I think what we're going to do is actually drag in another road here, and we'll just put a little playground, because I always think that the schools should have those. Just have a little circle drive right there. And then here we'll put in some parking. And, you know, as we detail this up a little bit, I think it won't look as bad. It's a little bit rough right now, but I think that it will be fine once we detail it up a little bit. So let's go ahead and do that now. Yeah, and already I think that looks a ton better. Just using the surface tool and some trees, creating a nice clean area. I am liking that a lot. And I know it's like right by the industry, but in the future, I think we're going to move this, hopefully. So shouldn't be too much of an issue. And that's why I put this tree line here too, so that these students don't, you know, aren't like right next to these factories and stuff like that. So yeah, not the best place for a school, but is what it is. And then right here, we'll just zone out a few more homes and kind of, you know, fill out these spots right here. And there we go. And I added in a little bit of more of a nice wooded area kind of against this highway, so these people aren't backed up directly to this to the sound wall. You know, they have a little bit of a natural barrier there. But yeah, we'll move on from this area. I think that's going to be fine for now. This adds another 600 students, which is not terrible given the size of the school. And, you know, I didn't really want to use one of those bigger buildings, so I'm happy with that for now. So I think this school, before we get to the central one, I think this one we can actually do with adding some of these extensions. So this extra classroom extension for 50 or for 500 students has the same upkeep cost as this one for 50 students. So we're going to add this one, and I can't add it because there's a surface in the way. Awesome. So let's just kind of bump this out a little bit. I think all that we need to do is just like drag this out this way a little bit. There we go. Now it'll let us place that down. So now let's see if we can get this surface to line up once more. And I actually don't really know what was going on with the surfaces there, but I'm just gonna leave it. I'm gonna leave it because it's fine. And yeah, we're not gonna deal with that right now. Okay, so there's an upgrade to our school. Not gonna complain about that. So now let's just go ahead and move on to the central one. And I think I may just replace this asset with something a little bit better. So this does add 500 capacity, which actually isn't terrible, but we need something a bit more substantial. So this is that would bring us to like 3,600. So this, that'll bring us to 1,500. So if we replace it with something like this that already has 1,500 capacity, or this that already has 1,200 capacity, and I kind of like the city one. I think it'll look good once we actually build up some of the density over here. So I might go ahead and place this. It's got a cool older style that I like. You know, it looks like it may have been around for a little bit. So we're gonna do that. We're gonna pause the game. We're gonna demolish this school and then replace it with the city elementary school. You know what? I'm actually going to change where this sits because I didn't know that both of the upgrades in this asset actually are right within the footprint of the asset. So I thought the playground would for sure be on the other side, but it's actually not. So we're going to move this right to this corner. And then we won't add the extension floors right now, but that does give us an additional 500 capacity, which would bring this up to 2,000, which is pretty cool. And then we're actually going to add this playground, which goes right there in the back of the school, which I think is a really cool addition to this. And I know the building is really big, but I think that, again, it'll blend in well. And now we have a lot of space to work with here, which I think is really cool. We can actually zone some buildings here. We could add in a few apartments and actually increase some of the density in this area a little bit. And it'll kind of make this blend in a little bit better, you know, next to all of these smaller buildings. And this is actually quite a massive elementary school, I must say. But like I said, I think as we grow this over time, it'll fit in quite well. And so I'm not going to complain about it right now. All right, so I've got that detailed up a bit. I added this parking lot and zoned a couple of spots around here and, you know, just added some trees and such. So that should look a little bit better. And now I want to actually think about our fire coverage. So in terms of like practicality in the game, we actually have decent fire coverage. But if we're trying to be a little bit more realistic, this is quite honestly unexceptional. Or not unexceptional, unacceptable. That's the word that I'm looking for. Yep. So anyway, yeah, just having 2 fire stations to cover this entire city is just terrible. And I think that we need to do better. So this one we're going to leave here, but we need to add one over in this area and over in this area. And I think over here, we have this nice spot that's currently open right in this, kind of along this evergreen street, which is going to serve as a, you know, like a collector for us, kind of more of a main road through this community. And I think it would be good to have this here on this side of the tracks. So we'll put one probably right in this corner, and I'm thinking it's going to be this this community firehouse. I want to try this one out. So this is the modern architecture pack again, and I like to not place down the same building a bunch of times, so I think it makes sense. Plus, this is a little bit of a smaller building, and I envision that this is, you know, not going to be a super dense area anytime soon. So we'll place that down there for now, and we can upgrade it with a disaster facility, which we do have the space for, which is nice. We don't need a watchtower right now, and the garage extension we can also add eventually, which... Oh, that's weird. They parked the trucks outside. Interesting. I guess it is what it is, but okay. Yeah, we might actually go ahead and add this right from the start, this disaster response facility. I kind of like having that in here. And then in terms of parking, we do have quite a bit of parking in this building already, so I don't think we actually need to add more parking here. But that'll be nice. This will serve this whole community here. And then we have this other firehouse, the city firehouse that we put down, the German one over here that'll serve this whole part of the town. Okay, so I actually went ahead and replaced this with just a regular firehouse because my game kept crashing for some reason. Every time I would load in, it would, you know, run for a little bit and then crash. And I wonder if that had something to do with the modern firehouse asset, but fingers crossed it doesn't crash this time. But if it does, then we'll see. So thank God for autosave, because it literally saved right before we right as we plop that down. So anyway, as I was saying, or about to say, the reason that I want to rethink our fire coverage is because response time is important. So you're actually supposed to have an average response time of 4 minutes to any area in your like first due jurisdiction. So first due is, you know, every station is assigned a certain area where they're going to be the first ones to get dispatched to a call in that specific area. So you figure from like this German firehouse to get all the way over here, it would probably take longer than 4 minutes. And even if it doesn't, I mean, you know, it is quite a ways to go. You got to go all the way down this main road. So theoretically, it's probably fine, but I just like, you know, having this additional firehouse here because this is a little bit more of a dense area. Plus, once we develop this, I imagine that this is going to be a little bit of a dense area as well. So having this here is going to be a good asset for this community. And now I would like to add one more on this side of town over here in East Percussiona, or Percussiona Harbor. But right now, I'm not too sure about exactly where to put that. And what do we have, a garbage issue here? Oh, we have a lot of trucks out. Oh, we might have to think about upgrading this with a garbage truck extension pretty soon, with a garage extension, but we'll save that for a little bit later. So anyway, yeah, I don't really know where I would put one over here. I think it would probably go somewhere over in this area, kind of by where we have the police station here. We have some offices over here. I would hate to demolish any buildings right now, so we're gonna think about that for a little bit. But just so you know, I mean, if you have any suggestions about where to put this over here, just let me know if we should put it kind of over here by this municipality area, by the police station, or if we should put it, you know, in the industrial area, like over here. We can maybe get rid of one of these factories and put it right along this road over here. Welcome to any suggestions that you have. I feel like over here might be a little bit more central, but this isn't bad either. And yeah, we could even go with 2, honestly. If we move, we may even have to move the fire station over here at some point, because this is really covering just this east part. We don't really have anything covering like this west part of the central area, so we'll think about that. But what I do want to do, and I am willing to delete some buildings for this because I kind of wasn't too sure what to do with this area anyway. I'm going to put down another police station. And again, we don't need the coverage given like the game standards, but in terms of realism, I think this makes a lot of sense. We have no police coverage basically in Central Percussiona, and I really want to change that. Our first police station we put was all the way over here in this corner, and then we put one all the way over here in this corner, but we have nothing right here. And so I want to put the city police station right, kind of like right here. I think having a police station right kind of along your main street in an older area like this, I think it would look really, really cool. And it's also something that you would expect to see. So the fact that I didn't put one there sooner is kind of a, you know, my bad, but better late than never, I guess. So I want to put it down right here because it's, I mean, it's a decent spot. You know, we kind of cleaned it up a little bit, but it is a little bit weird. We have these apartment buildings here that I kind of just threw down just for the heck of it. And I think it would make sense you know, it's very close to the highway. It's very close to this main area. And I think it would be a good spot to put down this police station. So we're going to actually start by dezoning these and using a little bit of a eminent domain here. So sorry guys for that. We'll delete these pathways, delete the service area, and these few trees that I just kind of threw down to detail this up a little bit. And I think this park is going to stay, and we'll just clean this up in a minute. But we'll just go ahead and put this down, and it fits perfectly, which is why I wanted to put it here. And I'm not going to have it face this main road. Instead, I'm going to have it face this side street. And it is built into the hill, which looks kind of weird, but honestly, if you don't pay attention to like this terrain bump right there, it actually doesn't look too bad. And this wall does a nice job of kind of hiding that. So I think we'll leave that for right now and just, you know, say that it's fine because it is not too bad. But yeah, but one thing for sure that we'll do is actually extend out. We'll do another little surface area over here with these tiles. And of course, this hill is just really, really bad, and it looks terrible, and I don't like it. So we're gonna level it out. That looks even worse. So I think what we'll do is actually just replace this with a grass surface. I kind of, you know, I wanted to keep the tile for a consistency, but honestly, the grass might look a little bit better anyway. And yeah, that's not bad. And actually, this building looks fantastic here. I think that fits in perfectly, if I'm being honest. And we can also add in a helipad, which can go right on top, which is awesome. We won't do that for right now, even though it says it's... Oh, I guess it needs a radius to take off and land. So, cool, kind of realistic. That's pretty sweet, if I'm being honest. But yeah, we'll leave that for right there. I don't know, did these buildings get dezoned here? I think they did get dezoned somehow. But anyway, we'll rezone those. That'll be fine. And yeah, so that's pretty much what I want to do with these city services. We boosted our education. We put down some additional fire coverage, and we also put down this police station, which I'm really happy with. So now I think we can get into the actual, like, actually do a little bit of building here. And one thing that I want to do is leave some space for a road maintenance depot. So we actually don't have one yet, and I can't believe that I waited this long to put one down. I actually kind of forgot about it, if I'm being honest. And if you look at the condition of our roads, they're just all bad. All of them are bad. I mean, look at that. That's terrible. So there's tons of accidents, and I forget that actually road condition has something to do with the amount of accidents. And our traffic is terrible too, but we'll tackle that in a later episode. So for right now, let's just go ahead and purchase those tiles that I wanted to purchase, and we'll kind of redevelop this area and put a road depot over here by this industrial area once we clean this up. And so before we start building, I'll jump into a little bit of a time lapse here too. But one thing that I want to mention is that I want to downgrade this road to be a 2-lane road, or I might even just sever this connection completely. I might actually just delete this road and completely redo this area, because I just, like I said, I don't really like the way that this looks. So I think we could do better here. And I want to make this road kind of the main road, or actually I might not even do that. I might actually sever this connection as well. Sort of just have this road be the main connection, because this will inevitably turn into our one of our county roads. And we'll probably have this just go straight through all the way through here and turn into like a rural highway. And then in terms of a highway connection, I'm gonna find a way to make something work over here. It might even come from extending this road out, because I think this was it might have been one of our county roads to begin with, if I look at the tile pattern correctly. Yeah, it looks like that was pretty much, or relatively in line with one of the borders. So you see, like up there, I mean, it's not perfect, but no, it wasn't in line with it at all, actually. But it's fine. We can imagine that it was. It's okay. Because I built this kind of before I thought about using the grid, the Jeffersonian grid system. And again, this map isn't the best for the Jeffersonian grid because there's so much terrain happening and stuff that it's kind of hard to map that out. But just as a guide, you know, it makes sense. But yeah, we have this straight road here, and maybe this will be our highway connection, and we might have this avenue kind of turn into that as well, and we can kind of have this loop into it. So we'll do something kind of creative. We'll see what happens. But yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead and jump into a time lapse. We're gonna do a major reconstruction of this area here, and I even think we might even go as far to move these power lines. I might go ahead and just jump over the highway right here instead of having it come along this way and do this right angle. We just had to do it because that's the land that we had available to us at the time. But now that we've expanded, it makes more sense to just kind of drag this out, and we'll just keep it kind of going straight over here and then just connect up maybe to this one right here. So let's do that. We'll do a little bit of rebuilding, and then I will talk to you guys in a second. And let's hope that my game doesn't crash again. So fingers crossed. Here we go. All right, and so I know this network is a little bit strange. I just didn't really know exactly what to do with a lot of this. So just kind of bear with me here, and I'm gonna make another weird connection right there. But yeah, what I'm thinking of doing is I'm gonna put a train station right here eventually once we get the rail done. And so I'm gonna reorient this track to kind of come in at a sharper turn here, and I want to put a train station kind of right somewhere in this area, preferably right here. We'll make it work. So what I'm envisioning is this whole block is going to be a little bit more dense, and same kind of along this main road. So I didn't want to make this not a main road because, you know, given that this is going to be a train station, this is going to be a busier area. I figure we'll have some shops around here and stuff, and some apartments and things. So I'm going to keep the density a little bit higher over here. But then once we get out over here, I'll put some single family homes kind of in all these blocks. And that's why I made these block sizes a little bit bigger. We could put some bigger lots over here just along these roads. And I'm not gonna make this connection right now. I don't really know exactly what I want to do in terms of connecting this to the highway yet. There's a very, very large elevation change here, as you could see. So I think what's going to end up happening is I'm not too happy with how this highway even transitions into like this part of the highway here. What I might do is just completely reconstruct this, kind of level this out, slope this out a little bit better. I don't like how both sides are kind of uneven. So I'm going to reconsider this highway. That might be like a whole other episode or an off camera type of thing. You know, because I feel like that's going to take me a while to do. So we're not going to worry about that right now. But what we are going to do is zone out some of this industry again to kind of bring this back. We'll put down a road maintenance depot somewhere over here. I think this is not a bad place to put it because it could serve as kind of a nice barrier between an industrial zone and a more residential zone. So maybe we'll put it like somewhere over here. And then, you know, the trucks can turn on over here. And then here I'm envisioning, you know, some more commercial. We actually have this signature building now that I forgot about. We have a supermarket, Morrissey's supermarket. So that is, yeah, that's way too big to put here. So never mind that. But I thought that might not be a bad spot for it, but we'll put that more in, you know, a bigger suburban area. I think it'll look really well, or look really good in a spot like that. But at the very least, we could throw down some more commercial over here and just use this as a bigger commercial center that'll serve as a nice barrier again, between the industry and the residential that's going to be across the street. So let's go ahead and just get this zoned out. And as always, see what happens. Right, and so I'm actually not super unhappy with that. And if you might have noticed, I didn't actually build this out all the way over here because, again, we have this massive elevation change right here. And I figured that we're just going to plant some trees here. We'll smooth out this terrain a little bit, actually. And yeah, I think that's going to be kind of the end of this part of the city. It just doesn't make sense to build this all the way, out, because that would be quite a steep cliff, and it just wouldn't really make much sense to do that at all. So instead, we're going to plant some trees here and just kind of call this the end of this area. And yeah, I think the last thing that's left to do now that we've got this kind of zoned out and relayed out is just do a little bit of detailing and add in some surfaces, some trees, some parking lots, pathways, things like that. And then we'll probably wrap up the episode. So stay tuned and talk to you guys in a second. All right, and you know what? I think I am actually relatively happy with this. It is. I am a little bit torn with kind of how this area is coming together, but I guess, at the end of the day, like, cities develop sometimes in weird ways, and it's not abnormal to have some industry by, some busier areas, especially so close to a highway, so close to what's going to be like a train station. I mean, there's, going to be a lot of people here. There's going to be a lot of a workforce for this small industrial area, and so overall, I guess it's really not that bad. But yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comments if this is a good place to put this or not. I just didn't really know a better way to transition kind of out of the city than to put kind of some light industry and some commercial over here. And then obviously, like I said, we'll have some single family homes and stuff over here. But I want to save that for once we develop, this whole area a little bit more. This will be kind of its own project. But yeah, I know I didn't get done with as much of what I wanted to do today, But overall, I think that looking at our city services and stuff, you know, everything is a lot better now that we've taken the time to actually do that. And it seems like a crime has been committed, but where? There's our police car. I was like, I know we just put a police station down here. It shouldn't be that bad, but yeah, this thing is probably a little bit overkill. We do have quite a lot of police cars and not a lot of crime happening in the city, but you know, overall, I guess it's not that bad to have an abundance of police. You know, I'd rather have that than not enough. So really can't complain there either. And I did go through and actually rename some of the schools, which are again just at capacity already, which is crazy. But yeah, we'll expand some of these later. Let me just take a look real quick. Yeah, our elementary capacity is definitely better than it was. We're still about 1,000 short, which I guess is what it is for now. We'll come back to that a little bit later and maybe build, you know, another school or something if we have to. But yeah, and of course my game just crashed again as I was chatting a bit. But I don't know, it almost seems like it's happening during autosaves. I don't know, it's like you want to autosave to avoid your game crashing, but then my game seems to crash when it autosaves sometimes. So I don't know, it's kind of like any advice, please help. But anyway, if you made it to the end of the episode, thank you so much. Like I said, I know we didn't get a lot done in terms of actually building the city, but I'm way happier with this area now. I'm way happier with some of the city services, and we're still making quite a bit of money. So in the next episode, we will do some rural expansion and actually get this countryside built a little bit. We'll build out this suburb over here, and then maybe even think about what we're gonna do in terms of our rail network, getting that started. So lots to look forward to. Hope you guys are enjoying the series so far. I'm enjoying making it, besides all of the constant crashes, but hopefully that gets sorted out a little bit. I might just need to restart my computer or something too. Who knows? But all in due time, right? Still fun to play. Still really loving the city. Hope you guys have a great rest of your week. And again, apologies for my voice. Thanks for putting up with it. I'm hoping to feel better, you know, in the next couple days. But in the meantime, have a great week. I will talk to you guys in the next episode. See ya.